Back playing Axe Throwing Simulator 2018.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, I get it. I get it. I understand. I understand.
Oh man.
Dude, I get it. I get it. The
How much is the
abandoned.
trading? Like, how much is the trading credit for this? 'Cause I think they.
I,
I read somewhere. I think they might have upped it. I'm gonna trade this joint in as soon as I beat this game.
oh wow. It's like that.
Man, like this joint whack to me, man. I'm sorry.
It's like that. Oh my god.
I mean, I posted on one of GameStop video, or not GameStop video, GameSpot. I don't know, like, get that crap confused. GameSpot video, and he was like, "Oh, you just suck at the game, and you not playing it right, and oh, it's a evolution." If people don't stop saying it's an evolution of this joint ain't nothing like the other God of War games. Maybe I need to go back and play the old ones. This ain't nothing. This don't feel nothing like it.
Because it's not like the old games. They did this on purpose.
Like all you did in the old God of War games was smash the square button. No, maybe all you did was smash the square button. It didn't require no thinking. Yeah, it did with certain enemies. It was just a different level of strategy to it. Like this, I feel like this game don't require no skill, and like it's just not engaging. Like even like if you're gonna have a battle, I feel like if you're gonna have a battle system, I feel like if you're gonna have a battle system like what they have in this, it's gotta be engaging. Like Hellblade, for instance.
Once you retrieve the whetstone,
Like
please
Hellblade
take
was
utmost care
engaging.
while
That's
handling it.
why I enjoyed it.
It
Like
is
this
a priceless relic after all.
this joint ain't engaging. All you do is throw the axe. And it doesn't
Yeah, we
help
got
that the game throws like it throws a lot of different enemies at you at the same time. And I know Hellblade would throw 3 or 4 enemies at you at the same time, but it wasn't all these different enemy types at one time, to where it's like not manageable. And like the game was at its best when it was like maybe one, especially if you're fighting a boss. But if it's just like one on one, it's at its best. I feel like this game, even just a little bit, because I told people where I'm at so far. Cause I played a little bit of the story yesterday, but I was mostly just exploring this stuff. Like I'm at the point where they find out that the witch is a goddess or whatever.
Yep.
So it's like, oh yeah, you got a long way to go. So like I think I might be maybe 15, 16 hours into this game. I don't know how long, but I know I've been playing it for at least over 12 hours at least. Like, it hasn't gotten any better.
Shit.
And like this is exactly what I fear from Sony games like this. Like, all their games, you gotta turn everything to an RPG. And I saw somebody say, and I said, okay. I saw someone basically say that this game's an action RPG, and I was like, it just didn't dawn on me that they had transformed it into this, because that's what it is. They transformed it into an action RPG where it's like, okay, your stats, you gotta boost your stats and stuff. But like, if you gonna make it into an RPG, the way they have the way that they have the system set up to where you level up, you have to have a certain amount of armor or whatever. You gotta have a strong. You gotta put on stronger armor, right? And you gotta upgrade your stats and stuff, and then that increases your level. I'm still at level 3. I'm literally still at level 3 after like 12, well, more than 12, but like 16 hours or whatever. And I'm like facing some enemies, so I've walked around and stuff, and I fought at least one. I think the highest enemy I fought was like maybe like 7. And I'm like, well, I can't get any stronger because it's just like I can buy some stuff at the shop and craft some stuff, but it doesn't feel like I'm even leveling up fast enough. Like it doesn't feel like that bar. You know what I'm talking about, like the bar where your level is at. Like that bar
Yeah.
isn't going up fast enough. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can only go around with so much. Like, am I supposed to be grinding in this game? I don't want to grind in no God of War game. I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here for let's dress up Kratos and let's dress up the little boy in another outfit and upgrade the bow and all this other crap. Like, I just want to play God of War. Like, this joint kind of whack to me.
I get it. Again, I do understand. I understand.
And someone talk about, oh, you can't tell me this battle system. This is the wait. What did he say? He said something like, this is the greatest fighting system of the generation. I said, okay. I'm thinking to myself, what in the world are you like? I get that you. Like, I'm not saying you can't like the game. You can like the game. It's not a bad game. I personally don't like it. Like, if the story is good enough, you know, because obviously I haven't seen the ending. If it picks up a little bit more, you know, if the combat picks up a little bit more, story ends off on a good note, then maybe I'll pick up a sequel. Because they already said, you know, you're gonna make a sequel to this. So maybe I'll pick up the sequel. But I'm not keeping this. Like, after I beat it, I'm done.
I'm only still playing it because I just want to platinum it. So.
Oh, you gotta find them. You gotta find them birds.
Whetstone, please take utmost
I
care
got
while
guides up,
handling
man.
it.
These stupid
It
ravens.
is
It's
a
like,
priceless
really?
Honestly,
you guys really put a bunch of ravens in
this
here?
might sound stupid.
Fuck?
This is about the most fun I had in the game. Just finding those ravens and just throwing the axe
Oh my god.
at them things. No, I'm serious. Like, the quote unquote fun parts of this game for me hasn't even been the combat. I actually, like, as soon as I get into combat, I'm just like, oh no. It got to a point, like earlier, I'm just like, throw axe, throw axe, throw axe, over and over. Because it's just like,
can't believe the son would kill his own
those
father.
projectile enemies,
That's crazy.
especially if they throw a lot of them at you, and then they have like the
I know.
dudes with
They
like
only got one side of the story.
the shield and the
But come
sword.
on.
It's just like,
His own father?
for
I mean,
me, I just
I
felt
get angry
it
at you
was
sometimes.
kind of it was harder to
mean,
manage all of that.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh,
But I'd
I'm
never
the
stab
best
you in
at
the
the
back.
game, and
No.
like, I mean, I just don't like it, man.
It's okay. I understand, like, the whole issue with them changing up the system and everything. And again,
Glenn
it's
really
not.
didn't want anyone coming
It's
in.
not for everyone.
How
I
are we
get it.
supposed to
I
get there?
understand.
There must be a
Especially
way to
like
lift the
being
gate.
the hack and slash
Maybe
game
with the
that
big
it
water.
was
My
after
thought as well.
8 games. It's like, oh, this is such a drastic change. Some people will be like, oh, it's a necessary change, and some people are like, oh, it's an unnecessary change.
Yeah, that's another thing. Some people's like, oh, they needed to change the system. Nothing, absolutely nothing was wrong with the system. See, what it is now is that games nowadays, now all you get is all these Demon Souls, Dark Souls clones and all this stuff. And a lot of people are like adjusted to that system of like risk, what they call it, risk reward, and having to like really think before you attack. And some people, I feel like some people are kind of mistaking that level of that type of gameplay as, okay, this is somehow better than the character action games that we used to get back in the day, like Devil May Cry and stuff like that. But while you were saying like, okay, this is just a different breed of God of War, basically, like, this was starting to remind me of like the whole DMC Devil May Cry situation. Because I was thinking about this earlier, because like, I actually don't think that Devil May Cry game that Ninja Theory made, that game wasn't even a bad game. It's just some people didn't like.
It wasn't. The story sucked.
Yeah, the story sucked. The stuff that they changed about Dante, people didn't like that. I didn't like it either. It was just some of the changes that they made. Whereas this, I mean, there's going to be a divide. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people that like this, and I realized that people like me, because I actually saw a video where somebody flat out said, you know, God of War sucks. I've seen like maybe 2 or 3 of those videos, but for the most part, it's just been like overwhelmingly positive about this game, and I know that I'm once again on the other side of the fence. Like, I'm in the minority, which is where I'm usually at with a lot of stuff, so I'm kind of used to it by now. But I just feel like this game is gonna be a bit overrated, just like The Last of Us is.
Again, there was nothing wrong with Last of Us story. It's the combat and the gameplay that sucks.
Yes.
But
yes.
with this, I'd fall in the lines of I'm in the middle with this, especially like after game shit and like the hype kind of died down for it after I beat the story, and I'm looking at this from like an objective point of view, I think the term for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get where people are coming from, where it's like, oh, this is so great, this is so great, and also like this was so unnecessary for them to do, especially after being what it was for years and years and years, because now it's been modernized by, it's just now modernized by every other game now.
I mean, they basically took, like you said, they modernized it. They took elements, whether they want to admit it or not. They took a lot of elements that they saw what worked in like Uncharted, The Last of Us, games like that. And hey, the thing is nowadays, the cool thing is to put RPG aspects into your game. So they decided to put in, crafting and stuff like that. They decided to put all that in the game, which I think is entirely unnecessary.
Especially with this, I can understand like the crafting is kind of unnecessary, but for something like Spider-Man, where it's like Peter's a genius, it kind of makes sense. Like that, in that realm of like, in that realm, it kind of makes sense. And especially with Insomniac, it's like they're known for like Ratchet and Clank and upgrading weapons over time and shit.
Yeah,
so it kind of makes
and
sense.
I think, yeah, like, and I think, and man, because I haven't played, and I haven't played, like I was saying earlier, I haven't played God of War in a while, but I think I think in the other games, so like in the other games, was there any like upgrading weapons? I can't even remember.
But you unlock blood by beating enemies, and as over time, it's like you can upgrade the Blades of Chaos, you can upgrade like whatever weapon you had.
Yeah,
and that's another thing.
Yeah, like
that's
something that's kind of common. That's something that's kind of common in like all these type of, like even in the older hack and slash games. Like you can still upgrade stuff. Like I'm not saying it's bad that they added like upgrading or anything like that. I mean that's a standard, but just the extra RPG crafting, and then you gotta change your armor and all this other crap. It's kind of unnecessary. Like they should add a mode where like that stuff doesn't really matter. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know how much development time or whatever would. Like I don't know how plausible that would be for them to do, or even if it would be worth it. But if they could like get rid of that, like I was thinking about this earlier, they should add an option, because I keep seeing every time I'm about to play this game, there's like another update for this game. They should add option to where you can change the field of view, because that camera is really bad. That's something that's really annoying to me. Like allow us to change the camera, turn off the RPG elements, and I think it would be slightly better from a combat perspective.
So you just don't go from like, oh, let me hacky slashy, what's the term, an atheist, to now with no fucking shirt, to now I need armor. It's like, I was even thinking about that. Like, we've seen this man take on everything. He literally went to hell and back with no shirt, and you're telling me now he needs a shirt?
Yup.
What?
You've also seen this man climb, I don't know how many big, structures, and yet he needs Atreus' help to do a lot of stuff in this game.
Yeah, like I said, when I look back and like I pulled myself back from out of the hype, especially like again after beating it, and I'm doing all this extra stuff, I just had me thinking. I'm like I'm questioning a lot more.